In the wake of PowerCon, my Mega Construx Masters of the Universe 5-pack arrived at my door. What's more, at the time of this recording, Mega Construx has put the 5-pack back up on Amazon for this, what the box calls their Heroes Online Bundle. So if you haven't had a chance to pick this set up, there's a third chance now to get one. I'll put a link down below, but for now, let's start with the Undead Lord, the ghost of Snake Mountain himself. Hi everyone, I'm Mac, it's the first day of Bricktober, and this is Mega Construx Masters of the Universe. This is Scareglow.
By the power of Willie Skull.
While being a fan favorite of the Masters of the Universe line, Scareglow has never had a consistent backstory or place in the mythology of the universe. On the original card back from the 80s, as well as his Origins release, labels him as the evil ghost of Skeletor, a title that many originally believed meant that he was the ghost of Skeletor himself, possibly from the future, or that Skeletor had canonically died in the line and this was his ghost come to continue the Lord of Chaos's reign. Neither of these was true, however, as calling him the Ghost of Skeletor was the same as calling Beastman the henchman of Skeletor. Scareglow never made an appearance in the Filmation cartoon, having been added to the line after the series had ended. Although, to be honest, I was surprised they never fit him into the Horde for She-Ra, Princess of Power. He would have fit right in with the rest of them in the Fright Zone. In the mini-comics, Scareglow appeared late in the series, first showing up with Ninjor in the comic titled The Search for Keldor. Here we see Skeletor summoning Scareglow and Ninjor from another dimension to do his bidding and stop King Randor from discovering what happened to his long-lost brother Keldor. Scareglow threatens to scare Skeletor to death, but is immediately cowed by the Master of Snake Mountain. When Scareglow confronts the heroes, specifically when he confronts Prince Adam, he introduces himself as the Ghost of Skeletor, verifying his undead status, and proceeds to, well, glow. His bright glow has the effect of instilling paralyzing fear in the hearts of mortals, and we see that in the villain's bright aura, Adam is even too scared to transform himself into He-Man. Luckily, Clamp Champ punches Ninjor so hard he sends the evil ninja hurling back into the undead terror, thus freeing Adam from Scareglow's grip so he can transform into He-Man. And I'm sure you can guess what happens next. And that's it. Scareglow was never seen again in the mini-comics, but that only makes sense because the series didn't last much longer after that. Recently, Scareglow has had a revival with the new Netflix series Masters of the Universe Revelation. In that series, he was portrayed as the Lord of the Underworld and possibly that world's incarnation of something akin to the Grim Reaper. Through the dialogue of the show, it is hinted at that Scareglow has some sort of past relationship with Skeletor, but we aren't told much, if anything, about it. This is the second card-backed version we've received of Scareglow for our Masters of the Universe line. It's not unusual for us to get more than one card-backed release of a figure. We've seen this happen with Teela, Stratos, and Evil Lyn, and like those figures, the only true difference here is a minor color variation, which we'll talk about in a minute. From head to foot, Scareglow is designed to look like a living skeleton and is molded after his original vintage figure. Cast in glow-in-the-dark plastic, Scareglow has a unique look to him that manages to stand out even among the eccentric likes of the Masters of the Universe. The paint application on Scareglow is limited, having only the outline of his bones painted on his body, along with a scar or crack in his skull. Even as a kid, I always imagined that crack had something to do with Scareglow's death. His eyes are golden, and even on his glow-in-the-dark body gives him a menacing, supernatural quality. For accessories, Scareglow comes with his trademark Scythe of Doom. This is a piece we've seen plenty of times before, not just on the previous release of Scareglow, but with Castle Grayskull, Battle Bones, and the He-Man vs. Beastman 2-pack. With Scareglow, though, it comes in a very unique shade of green, which does make it in line with his vintage figure, but if we're being honest, I prefer to give him one of the more realistic-looking scythes from the 2-pack. Or, if you want to try and mimic the look of the Masterverse scythe, you can use the darker staff piece of the previous Scareglow and combine it with the brighter green blade head of this release. Or do something like this. For me, personally, the scythe being all one shade of green doesn't work, so I'm going to figure something out. And while we're talking about colors, the cape and boots of this second release of Scareglow are a darker shade of purple than the previous figure. The first cardback figure we received was colored like the vintage or Origins figure, while this one looks to be colored after his Revelation look. This version of Scareglow also comes with a display stand that has his name across it. And finally, yes, this figure of Scareglow does actually glow in the dark as previous incarnations of him have. He glows quite well, actually. I hope the camera is doing this justice. It's disappointing that Scareglow has been so hard to come by, whether it was the first version or this newest one, Mega Construx, who I genuinely thought was actually making strides in their distribution, wasn't able to get these figures out to nearly as many collectors that wanted him. I actually consider myself very fortunate that I was able to pick up both releases. I do have a feeling that we haven't seen the last of Scareglow, though, and I suspect that at some point we're going to get a Masters of the Universe Revelation variant of this figure with a predominantly black body and only a glowing head. But that's just my speculation. I have nothing to back that up. One thing, though, to be hopeful about is that even though Amazon is currently out of stock of this 5-pack, according to the website, they are still taking orders at the $25 price point with the promise of being back in stock soon. I'll put a link in the description below for anyone that wants to put a pre-order in for these. And I sincerely hope that everyone who wants a set can get them. In the meantime, we will be taking a look at the rest of the figures that came with this 5-pack, so until then, play well everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.